Welcome back to Getting Started in FieldJack. Now, in previous videos, we showed you estimates and contracts, and now we're moving on to jobs. In FieldJack vernacular, a job is an estimate that's been approved. So, if we got a call from the client saying, hey, we're good to go on this estimate, it looks good, let's turn it into a job. So, let's go to estimates from the home screen and look at our Johnson bathroom remodel that we've been working on and open that up. So this is what the client has approved, and now I can choose to make this a job. It's giving me a warning telling me that once an estimate is a job, it can't be edited. And as you can see, now it's a job, and I can't edit these values any longer. And this is really a good thing because the estimate is kind of set in stone, and we want our superintendent and our job to run based on that estimate. So one of the things you're going to do with a job, now we can create a project budget, and also we can start billing time to this job. So here I'm going to choose Actions and Preview Project Budget. Now the project budget is a great tool because the budget amount for an individual line item is less than the estimated amount that we have for the client. So we have some built-in profit or a built-in buffer in every single line item. Now, how do we get this figure of this discount amount? Well, if you remember from the settings, let me close this real quick. For your company, there's a section right down here next to default tax rate that is default budget percentage. Now that gets carried over to an individual estimate, and you can actually change it on a per estimate basis. But if you've already created a job, in this case the Johnson bathroom remodel, you can't update the budget percentage here. You'll need to turn it back into an estimate, adjust it there. So let me show you how this works. Turn it back into an estimate, and I'm going to click Show Options. Now over here we've got a few different options. We've got overhead profit that we can add to each item. We can choose not to print all the items, and we can make an adjustment. So if this was really a low-balled project and realize, you know what, I can't really give the superintendent 25%. Everything's too cheap already. Maybe the best I can do is a 10% adjustment. Well, now this is the project budget of $29.34. But if we scroll down here, realize the final price is in fact $31.39 with a discount applied. So if we choose here to say $2,000 for the total, then it's automatically going to calculate the adjustment percentage, which is quite neat. But here, the price remains the same for the client. So let's make this something a little more reasonable so the superintendent isn't freaking out when they see this. So I'll do that. Let's save that estimate. Make this into a job. Give it just a moment. And now let's preview our project budget again. Okay, this is more reasonable. Our superintendent's going to be much happier. So we're ready to send something to the superintendent. Now one thing you might have noticed is that there is an assigned superintendent option right here, and currently it's unassigned. So let's assign it to Phil Retrick, who's our superintendent. That was done via settings. So let's update that superintendent. So now let's choose to email this project budget. So now you can see the superintendent's email address has been inserted automatically. You can write him a note, get to work, and send him off an email with the project budget. So some of the other things you can do once you created a job, you can enter time and materials on that job. I'll be showing you that on an additional video. You can create an invoice for this job. So say for example you're done and it's a simpler project, you can invoice this just right away, and here's your invoice, and save that. You can also view a log of your project. So a log shows things like what you emailed and when. For example, this estimate was done then. And then you can also archive a job. And we'll be talking about that in future help sections about FieldJack. So estimates become jobs, and then jobs are able to have time and materials and invoices created from them. So let's move on to our next video where we're going to talk more in detail about time and materials.